Now, what happened to our host now?
Hey, y'all. This is your girl, Ashley Michelle. I was over here giving an intro and I'm not even on the camera.
Right, I was like, what's going on?
I'm a little rusty, I see. We've been gone for a little bit. We've been gone a little bit, had a little hiatus.
Don't even know what to do.
I know. I'm over here talking, thinking anyway. But we have a good show lined up tonight. I am so excited. We have several special guests, and we are talking about dating. Okay, I left it very general because there's so much to talk about when it comes to dating, right? Every day, there's something that comes on my timeline that has to do with dating. Okay, and I don't know about y'all, but it seems like people have a lot to say, right? Including myself. I got a lot to say too. So welcome to the ladies' room. I'm your girl, Ashley Michelle. I have my co-host, my squad here. We got Cannon Hill.
Hey.
We got Triple OG. We got Mrs. Jovo.
Hey.
And our girl Raven is not here tonight. She should be able to join a little later, right? But she's trying to get to her bag herself. So she'll be in a little later. We do have some special guests on the show. I'm going to go ahead and bring them up. We have a special lady, Mrs. Dana.
Hi.
How are you, Dana?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Well, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I was invited by Jovo. We've known each other since college. We went to VSU. Currently, I'm in the Atlanta area and I'm in human resources. And yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Okay. Thank you, Dana. We have definitely not a stranger. He might as well just come on and join us.
I'm just saying.
I don't have that type of time. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying.
So it's T-Love today, not the real estate guy.
I don't think I ever put Tony Real Estate on that, which is.
Oh no, you have. Okay. Maybe I'm just
changes to that. It was already there when I logged in, so it was just. Okay.
All right, Tony, thank you for joining us again. All right, and then we have another special guest. His first time on the show. We go back. He'll introduce himself. We actually went to school together, and his name is Devin.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Thanks for allowing me to sit in with you all. I'm Devin, as Ashley said. I think I've been knowing Ashley, man, damn, the 30 years, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All the way back to grammar school. So
I know, isn't that crazy?
She extended the invitation. Why not, right? So
Yeah.
It's like we got some good topics going on. I can't wait to be a part of to chime in, to just seem like it's a great bunch of people that, you know, saying that you guys have already. Nice meeting everybody, and yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we're gonna jump right in. Our first topic. Well, the first question is, how has marriage changed from decades ago? How has it changed? Has it changed for the better, or for worse? Okay. And if you don't think it's changed, that's fine too. I'm gonna play a short video.
Get out of here.
And we're gonna go ahead and respond to the video. Okay. So I was scrolling on Instagram, and I saw this guy who's like an older guy, like not old, but like an older, mature guy. And he had something interesting to say about marriage. So here it is. Uh-oh, hold on. Let me get it. I'll pull it up. Here it is. All right. All right. Thank y'all for waiting. All right. Here we go. Let me start it over.
Our grandparents married. We bring home the money, and the wife is there, whatever. No, there's an expectation. We have to be prayer partners. We have to get our money right. The love making got to be on point all the time. The manage the in-laws, social media rules, all these different expectations that we have. If I'm going through something, you should know how to deal with it. Right. If my mom passed, you gotta know how to. You understand that I have to be there for the family. And as the rock, you gotta support that versus saying why you gone all the time. And so it walks you through all of those. And so you're able to actually, because marriage right now, especially if you're an older man, it's more of a merger. And what if you could actually have conversations about how we merge before we get into it? Right. My wife and I took the Simmons assessment. This is a while back. And unfortunately, her grandma got sick right around that time. And we had already had a conversation.
All right, y'all. So what do you think? What do you all think about what he said? Who wants to go first?
I mean, I'll take a stab at it. I mean,
Devin. Yeah.
I mean, he kind of touched about like marriage is a merger, social media. I don't know. I mean, I am married, you know, but I just don't really try to put social media into my marriage, right? You know what I'm saying? I still live I would say my marriage is very traditional in the sense of that it's just me and my wife, right? You know what I'm saying? We work out our own kinks. We talk about what it is that's important to us, as well as about our growth and what we focused on, right? So we don't really bring. I mean, I guess our expectation is what are we building and building for our family. So that's our only expectation that we constantly focus on. But it also, you know, I know he kind of like he talked about social media and it got to be this type of partner. I mean, obviously we building, right? You know what I'm saying? So we do talk about our partnership in a way that it allows us to build, but it's not based on anyone else's expectation, more so our own expectation, if that makes any sense.
Okay. All right. Tony, what do you think? I see the eyebrow.
The eyebrow gave it away. I'm sorry. I feel like as far as marriage is concerned, I mean, I'm not married, so I can't speak on it too tough. But from what I see from my friend's situation, it feels like it used to be where there was a standard across the board what marriage was, and now it's kind of like it's very individualized, and it's kind of like, you know, telling everybody to change their own tires. We're not going to give you any type of rules or regulations. Just change your own tires. So then you're going to get, you know, all types of stuff. You're going to get people trying to put paint cans on top of each other trying to change this tire. You're going to get people trying to just like, you hold it up and I'll put the tire on real quick instead of having a standard way of doing something. So that's why I feel you're seeing a lot of marriages fail, not just because of only that, but because of the influences of social media. And overall, I feel like it's a national incentive for people to get divorced because that way there'll be more money circulating in the economy. So I feel like unless you have a strong understanding of what a relationship is and how to maintain it is destined to fail. It's going to happen.
Okay. So do you, I know you're not married, but would you agree with Devin that it's important to keep, social media out of your relationships? And then also, like, do you think that the expectations that we have today are coming simply from like social media, or is it coming from somewhere else?
I think the expectations of today are definitely coming from social media and all types of just foreign entities in general. Like, there is no standard expectation anymore. It's kind of like it depends on what the mood of the social norm is. So even if you are able to meet or exceed the expectations, next week can be something different. Like, like just a couple months ago, it was okay to take your wife to the Cheesecake Factory. Now it's not good enough. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you know what I mean? Like, what's next? What are you gonna do next? So yeah, I would say just stay off social media, have a standard that has nothing to do with it if you can, because a lot of times it's hard to avoid in general. One, it's addictive. Two, a lot of people businesses are tied to it. A lot of people, friends and family are tied to it. So you're drawn to it. You got to be a part of it in some type of way. So it's hard to avoid it completely. But if you could, I would say definitely keep the world out of your private marriage.
Okay. So I have some follow-up questions for those comments, but I want to hear what others have to say. So Dana, would you like to share?
Sure. I'm not married either, so my comments are based on just my observations and also watching family and friends. But I think a lot of it has to do with a lack of communication. People are not communicating their wants, needs, and expectations. There are a lot of unspoken expectations that people may have. And because there is social media, because there's a lot of comparison, because there's all of these hashtags, couples goals, or whatever, people are looking to have their individual relationships mirror someone else, where there's all kinds of nuances that we don't know about their relationship. And I think that leads to disappointment. And I think that's one of the reasons why things have led a lot to divorce. And I sometimes wonder, like, do people really want to be married right now? I mean, is that really something that people want to achieve, or is it a cultural expectation? Like, are people going in that direction because they feel like, well, that's just the natural progression that a relationship should have? Okay. And are they getting there and getting disappointed because it's just not what they thought it would be?
Okay. So maybe some people have like some pressure, especially women. I think women probably feel it a little more than men to be married. They have all these pressures to be married, and they don't even know necessarily what marriage really entails. Like maybe they don't have good examples or people who have been married to share with them what marriage really is about. And so maybe they don't even know, like they think they want to get married, but maybe they don't. And I personally do strongly and believe in marriage. I'm a Christian woman, so I definitely believe that, like, not all of us necessarily, but God calls us to be married. So I think that it's a good thing for people to want to be married, but I do think that it's important that we understand like the purpose of it. And I wonder if some people just don't. What do y'all think about that?
Well,
the purpose of it, because not even everybody is Christian or Muslim, but like the purpose of it for them. Like, do you guys?
Can I say something real quick? I'm sorry, I had to,
yeah.
A couple people touched on some things, right? It's so easy to quit. You know what I'm saying? Like, divorce rate is so high because it's so easy to quit. It's so easy to like, it ain't working like I thought it was supposed to work. Marriage isn't easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's our grandparents and the generations, they stayed together because they was able to stay together. They just chose not to quit. People easily to give up too easily because they think, oh, if I give up, the grass is green on the other side. But if you take your bad attitude and your bad situation to somebody else, you live in the same thing. So it's not necessarily that you got to find this perfect person, because no one's perfect. We all individuals at the end of the day, but it's just so easy for people to quit, and people allow themselves to give up and quit so easily without even trying, because what got all these social norms that's over our heads or that people put over their head, like, oh well, relationship goals. This a goal. If my man or my girl, she ain't getting this type of bag, then like, or she don't look like this type of girl, or she don't, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing perfect. So that's all I want to say. Just so easy for people to quit, and that's why I think, you know, touching on T Love's point, you know, that people give up so easily. You know, the divorce rate is so high just because people just give up. I mean,
Okay. Do you think?
I think Devin is hitting on something, because he's saying that people quit easily, but even more than that, it's because I feel like quitting is an option. When you give people options to do certain things, you're going to choose one. You're going to choose A, B, or C, or D. If A, B is not on the table, you're going to choose C or D. Like those are the options you have. And before, there was no such thing as divorce. It wasn't, you know, I believe until like the early 1900s where divorce was even instituted. So when you give people that option, I can even see the kids from the 1900s not doing it because they were culturally not brought up into quitting. But you know, now we're in a situation where even the losing team gets a trophy, and where it's okay to just give up. You know what I mean? So it's like it's an option. That's why people exercise that option. Yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of agree with everything everybody said, but we got to tap into some reality right now, right? I know we always want to act like back in the day was just so much better because these marriages were staying together and there wasn't a lot of divorces, but everybody wanted to make divorce a bad thing just because that's labeled bad. But when someone gets out of a toxic relationship or a situation that they was miserable in, it's not a bad thing. You know, back in the day, people would get married because of necessities and not wants. And I think when you get married because of necessity, the desire for that person is not as higher as it would be if you wanted them. So when women was marrying these men, it was because they had no choice because they couldn't get certain things without a man. So how could you really gauge that love that oh, I want to be with him because I love him and this and that, when they really didn't have a choice? They had to be with a man. So they was just picking a man that they was probably close to them, or the man that just chose them because superficial things like they just wanted sex or she was beautiful or whatever the case may be. So they stay in these relationships for 30 years miserable because, oh, I'm not supposed to get divorced because in the Bible it says this, or whatever religion you believe in that tells you you can't get divorced, or whatever the people around you that shames you for getting divorced. Now you're staying in a situation that you're not happy in. And in today's society, I feel like people has the knowledge and people can talk to other people in similar situations to understand that they're not a bad person because they want out of a relationship. And when they look at people similar to them, they get the courage to be like, okay, let me leave this situation and do better. You know, I think all marriages is individualized. It should be individualized because it's two different people. And I think this a good thing, how you look at it, and it could be a bad thing how you look, because social media will make your mind believe something that is not happening with all marriages when you're not supposed to live your marriage like the next marriage, because it's just impossible. It's impossible because we can go and act like we're doing the same thing as this couple and we got this peachy life, but behind closed doors, our bills are different, our circumstances are different. The amount of kids we have is different. The time we spend together is different. So each marriage is individualized. Like I can't live my marriage like a rich person can live their marriage. You know, I can't live my marriage like a super poor person lives their marriage because the dynamics has changed. So each person has to find a way to make that marriage work for them and not look at outside marriages. Now, examples is good, like when you want to about communicating and what may work, but at the end of the day, it's still gonna be individualized because you're two different people trying to be together with one, and not the world and what the world putting out there, because you can easily just get confused.
Okay. I love that. And I want to hear what the ladies have to say.
I'm always taking over. I'm like, dang, I thought it was the ladies show. No, you ain't killing it.
Hey,
no, it's refreshing. It's refreshing.
When you get your turn in, hey, Chuck, when you get the turn in, you better go in because you might not get it again.
Usually we don't get a chance to talk, so I was like,
all right.
Once y'all start, it ain't gonna be no.
Three of y'all today.
Okay.
I actually disagree with Darwin though, but you know,
Okay.
must have it.
I would like to go next.
Well, let him respond. Well, I wanted to say
Yes.
something real fast. I'll say something real
Absolutely.
fast about what has been said already. I think all of us are making really good points, and I want to make sure no points are being lost, or as few points as possible are being lost. And then T-Love, I want you to respond, and then Jovo. But what you were saying, Darwin, is I think very important. Like, I think we glamorize marriage of yesteryear, you know. And if you think about it, marriage as an institution, I mean, there are some religious and, you know, faith-based beliefs attached to it, right? But it was really like an institution of economics. Like, women literally were sold to men as brides. And, you know, the male would have to pay a dowry. In different cultures call it different things. And families were very much motivated by that dowry. You know, it was easier to go from a family of 10 to a family of 9, or a family of 8, or a family of 7. Once you have your daughter who can now be married, that makes the financial burden or the economic burden on your family lighter, you know. And this actually still happens in certain parts of the world, where you have families that are very motivated for their daughters to get married so that they don't have the financial burden on their families. And so I think we do glamorize marriage. And I think that we have to remember that marriage of yesteryear doesn't necessarily have to be what it is today. I mean, I think we're trying to align ourselves with what we think marriage was like. Like, even from just 50 years ago or 40 years ago, we're trying to live up to what we think, you know, especially in our community. I hear a lot of Black people talk about like traditional marriage, but what was really traditional for us? You know, like my mom, the house I grew up in was traditional in the sense that my grandfather worked, my grandmother stayed home, took care of the house. She did all the domestic work, while my grandfather did all of the financial stuff, right? All of the financial work. But that's not the case for most people, right? So it's like, what do people even call traditional? Like, I think basically what I'm trying to say is the reason why marriage has changed is because people are getting married for different reasons today too. Would you guys agree with that?
I think it was very, very toxic back in the day, just from what I hear. Like, and it's cool, the structure, how they had the structure, it was okay for that time, you know. But when you have the woman in the house doing everything with the kids, taking care of the kids, it's beneficial and to the woman for that. But that man that does not have the same relationship with these kids, when they get older and they in nursing homes because of that same reason, because they didn't give these kids that love and that affection that they need, so now they take care of the mother instead of the father. That is a real thing that was happening. Like the fathers was, and they was out working, taking care of the home, paying the bills. Yeah, but at the end of the day, we all know how that structure was. I pay the bill, the man paid the bills, he come home, barely have time with the kids, and the mother did everything with the kids from sun up to sundown. So that relationship with the mother is strong, and the relationship with the father and the kids is not so strong. And I don't think that's a good.
I can't agree with that.
I beg to differ. I
can't agree with that, bro.
I don't remember seeing no black June Cleavers. I don't.
Yeah.
Like my grandmother and grandfather worked. My aunt and uncles, they worked. They went to work. They paid their bills, and occasionally I would see them pecking each other on the cheek. You know, I got an aunt and uncle who almost been married for 50 years. And what we know is, I guess, traditional, like, these people still in love with each other. They worked hard, yes. Could they vacation like some of us vacation now? No. I think that we make assumptions. We're comparing a time that, let's just be real, a lot of us weren't even living then to what we see on the internet now. Yeah. And the internet, I mean, the optics of the internet will have you believing that marriage is supposed to be us dressed in matching outfits and eating expensive meals and going on very beautiful vacations. When in fact, if I have to remember something beautiful that I'm gonna remember from my life with my two bears, it's like tonight when me and my husband were dancing in the kitchen, looking at the mail and like, dang, we keep getting bills, but we laughing, we smiling, we kissing each other, we painting on each other.
So what you're saying is the dynamics from with the father and kids and the mother and kids is the same.
What I'm saying is, what I'm saying
is
what you make it. It's what you make it.
I'm just talking about in general. I'm just talking about in general. I'm not just talking about one-offs. And we've seen some families who the mother and father both worked and
like I ain't heard nobody go into detail about love.
But listen, I disagree with, and Devin, I want to hear what you have to say too. I disagree though, Darn, a little bit with that, because if you, like, for instance, I'll just use, this is just an example, right? My grandfather, he was, like I said, he was a sole provider, but my family has the utmost respect for him. Like, and I mean, he's passed on now, but when he was sick, there was nothing that anyone in my family would not do for him. So I think that to avoid that, it's like, it's about relationship. Like, my grandfather did find some balance, you know, which is hard for some men to do because of the pressures of caring for a family, right? But my father, you know, you got to try to find some balance. And then it's not just about that, but, you know, my mom showed respect. I keep saying my mom, you know, they were my grandparents, but I call them my mom and dad. But my mom showed respect, and I think the kids will mimic that.
So respect. I'm not doubting respect. I'm not doubting that I respected my grandfather too. I respect my father. That's a different thing than what I'm talking about. So from what, like I said, I wasn't born back then, but I have grandmothers, aunties. We all do, and we all hear the stories about how Papa was a Rolling Stone. He had kids all over the place, and this was a true thing back in the day. So
it was.
So I can tell you right now, my grandfather had maybe like 20 some kids, right? 13, 12 with my grandmother and some outside kids. There's no way in hell we can have a strong relationship with these kids if he's taking care of all of them equally. There's not that much time in the day to do it. It's just impossible. So if you want to sit up here and say like they was giving all this love to all the kids just because the kids respect them, then okay. But it's not the same as when a mother is with these kids all day, breaking their back, taking care of them, and I
just want to interject for a moment, because you're talking to somebody who grew up around a woman who was 100-some years old. The times were different back then, for sure. And just like what we have to deal with in our life, they had their negatives and they have their shortcomings and they had their mistakes. They did. I am not minimizing any of that. That we had plenty of papas that was Rolling Stones, and where they laid their hats, pants, and everything else was home. I get that. I understand that completely. But I don't want us to shy away from the fact that almost in every century and decade, when you talk about marriage, you know, my great grandmother used to say, every generation is supposed to get better than the next. We got to learn to, like, I'm not going to completely resent what was going on back in the day, because for some of us, like, who I got married at the age of 23. I've been with the same person for like 25 years. That old school, some of it, you know, they have a saying where you take what you need and leave the rest. Some of that laid the foundation for my marriage. And I you know, I can't just say, you know, that we can't learn anything from them. We definitely can, mistakes and all, you know. But I do think we got to bring love into the equation. Because
I think it was love. I think it was love and respect, and I'm not blaming them or saying they're bad people, but because of the way the times was, and because of what our ancestors went through to get to where they get, the structure of the family was kind of thrown off, right? I think we are getting back to that, like you say. Like I know your husband takes your kids to doctor appointments, go to school visits, and stuff like that. That wasn't going on back then.
According to who?
Like according to a lot of women. Like we got
I agree with that.
My father went to some school events, but even right now, when I go to my daughter's events, I did a count the last time I went. It was like 36 mothers and it was 3 fathers. So, and I do these counts, and I go to the doctor visits, I do these counts because I just want to see if I be tripping. because I get on like you said, you get on this internet and stuff like that, and people always talk about some fathers this, fathers that, and I'm like, okay, I don't see it, but I hear y'all, I believe y'all. I can't say nothing, but okay, cool. I know it is some good fathers out there.
Yeah,
but we got to understand that the majority always rules, and if in the mentality of the men today, it's getting better, I guess, you know what I'm saying, but they got that mentality, like you said, they got some stuff from our grandfathers and great grandfathers, like that toxic masculinity. I don't do certain things, the woman's supposed to do that and stuff like that. They still got that ingrained in them, and you can hear it through conversation when they start talking. It always pours out. No matter what they start saying, like, oh, I do this, and then you start asking questions, they don't even know the teacher name. They don't even know they kid's doctor name. And you be like, okay, you're not that in tune as you trying to claim you father of the year, and you're not.
Hey,
So that's all I'm saying.
Let me say something real quick, right? Because I mean, you touching on a lot of great things, and I could say this: I'm living a lot of the things that's like my wife. She stay at home mom with the kids. You know, I'm the provider for the household. That's just how it works out, right? You know what I'm saying? Because we got an 8-year-old, we got a 2-year-old, and we got a 1-year-old. Daycare's so expensive that even if she did go to work, we gotta, you know what I'm saying? The check that she gonna make, go cover that, right? But at the same time, for you to say like, okay, well, the pop not around because he working or whatever. I'm a truck driver. I work probably like 16-hour days usually. You know, I get home every day, and I have an amazing relationship with all 3 of my kids. I have an amazing relationship with my wife. Is it perfect? No, it ain't as perfect as it can be. But there's different balances that we, you know, work towards to do this. Now, do I know all of every little small detail about different things? I make sure I know all the important things that's going on in my kids' life so that I'm there for them. I coach my oldest, he in gymnastics. I'm going to the different meets. Have I missed some? Yeah, I have, because I still got to make sure I go out there and do what I'm supposed to do for the household, which is bring home the money that we need to survive, right? So, like the doctor's appointments, I go to the ones that I can make, but I bet you I'm gonna know what's going on about the doctor's appointment.
No. So don't let me.
No.
I'm not saying is any of this is not bad. What I'm saying is the dynamics are definitely different from father and kid to mother and kid. That's all I'm saying. Because of the structure that we have and the structure that we have built for what the man's supposed to do and what the woman's supposed to do.
Well,
so I'm not saying.
Well, how about this? The structure is different because I'm a man and she's a woman. How about that? You know what I'm saying? Because that's just two different dynamics. I'm not trying to play my wife's role. My wife's not trying to be me. You know what I'm saying? I want her to be the mom who she's supposed to be, and I'm gonna be the pop that I'm supposed to be. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I think it's different. So when you say, okay, man, I go to these different things, these school events, and I don't see these fathers showing up. Maybe because them fathers just ain't in the household. Maybe there's some shitty ass fathers. Excuse my language. You know what I'm saying? Because we also understand that there's a lot of single parent households out there where mothers have to bear all of the burden. I don't have 20 kids. I'm not around here being a Rolling Stone. I realized that a long time ago, like, man, I can build with one woman instead of going out here and trying to plant seeds all over the place and trying to build a family over here or cheating. I just don't have time for all that. So, you know, that's my point. Some of those men back then, maybe they was calling themselves men, but they was acting like boys. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying?
That's my point. It's the single households. Back then, it wasn't a lot of single households because women stayed with these men, regardless, like just because they needed to. These days, women are more independent, so they're not just going to stay with a man because, oh, we have kids and I need his help. They're going to go out and get a job and find a way to take care of these kids, and it's going to be a broken home. Now, why they broke up is many reasons, but for the man could have initiated the divorce. He could have been like, I'm tired of this. I'm leaving. I don't want to be here no more. I'm unhappy, or whatever the case may be, right? So that's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying I don't think that, like, a lot of this is not wrong or right. Like, divorce to me is not wrong or right. It's about what needs to be done. And all the time, people do not need to stay together in marriages just because for whatever social standards that they think they need to be in. I just don't.
Well, maybe it ain't even that. Maybe people just want to work hard to keep what they once had together. Like, I guess for me, let me just say this, because I've been married almost 20 years. And for me to say at this point, this juncture in my life, that it's got to be this, and this, and if it's any of this, I'm going to walk away. One of the best lessons I've learned in marriage is to live in the present. To live in the present, to be present in your marriage, meaning that live in today. Like we had to learn that there are certain arguments and debates we probably ain't gonna never see eye to eye on, and when they come back up, we got to come to a healthy and happy compromise, and then move on to the next thing. Because if we're holding on to stuff, you know, it's not going to be detrimental. It's going to be detrimental for our marriage. I guess I'm saying that to say this, that I think that what I respect about some of the marriages back then, and I understand there was toxic behavior going on. There was, you know, people having children in multiple homes. I am not minimizing the toxicity that went on back then. But what I am saying is this. There's something about our elders where they were willing to say, hey, I don't like this about you, but I'm going to try to work through this for the sake of us, sake of family, sake of something. And I think a lot of times, because I used to be one of them people, like for instance, if you were my friend and your husband cheated on you, and you told me about it, I used to side eye your husband for like the rest of the time we were hanging out. Like I didn't like that behavior. But what I had to learn and come to understand is that when you work so hard to keep something together, like marriage is a commitment, and it's love, and it's all these other things that for some reason we so scared to talk about now. Like I hear a lot of these podcast people talking about marriage. Nobody wants to throw that word around, love and commitment, and you know, infatuation with the love. No one, it's like love has become like this thing where it's, oh, you can't say that because not everybody are dealing with that, but we can say this other stuff. Like, what if you really honestly love someone and you just want to work it out, and you, when you stood up there and took a vow, you really meant what you said, and you were like, you know what, I am going to do my best to try to work through this. Now, if you can't work through it, that's something else. But I've heard us talk a lot about divorce tonight, and how, you know, I get it.
Well, this is what I think.
What about the love?
But I think that in my opinion, what seems to have happened is
ain't no love. This is war.
Back then, people had various reasons for staying together. Like we already talked about, women
maybe they love each other though.
Women could not, you know, do a lot of things on their own. They were very much motivated to stay married. One second. Men and women stuck together financially because it just made more sense. There was more of a taboo. Like there were economic reasons for why people stayed together. Now, I think that there's way more value in staying together than just for economics, right? I agree. Family, love, companionship, partnership, having somebody to grow in life with. But I think what is missing is that people never learned the skills to stay married. So we keep talking about, oh yeah, mom and dad stayed together. You know, they had to stay together out of necessity. Not all. I'm not saying every relationship was just toxic. I believe that my grandparents had a really good relationship. But a lot of times people stay together out of necessity. And so now, like we have people like Dorian, shout out to Dorian, he wrote, women are way more independent now than that time too. So I think a lot of times people
can't buy women no more.
Yeah, you can't. You got to have.
You have to really love them and treat them right
skills.
now.
Exactly. You got to have some relationship skills that men didn't learn, and a lot of women didn't learn. And so that's what I think is happening.
Well, they didn't have the skills, but they had the love. We getting skills, but we missing the love. You see what I'm saying here?
I don't necessarily think that. I think like this is what I think the biggest thing is. Like I agree with what Tony was saying earlier. I feel like people lack a sense of a higher purpose, right? Like you say, they get married for love, right? Love come and go, right? Or I mean, you can love people, but are you in love with them all the time? Right? People want to get all they in love and infatuated. But what about the times when you're not in love? What's gonna hold it? Yeah. What's gonna motivate you to keep pursuing it? Like having that higher purpose. But I think a lot of people don't see the value in having a 2-parent household. Like they don't see the value in being able to build things together, right? Like all of that stuff. Like think about it. You study breaking up and doing all of this stuff. You got to start over. You losing money. Like it's just all of these setbacks. And it's like if you had a higher purpose, then I think even to your point, Ashley, without those relationship skills, you would be motivated to get them because you have a higher purpose. You like, okay, this is bigger than me. But if everything is about yourself all the time, right? That goes for both people. Then yeah, of course you're gonna like, I'm not happy right now, so I'm gonna break up, or I'm not happy, so I'm gonna go do this, or whatever to make myself happy. Damn the kids, damn the like it's like if you don't have that, I think, and like you were saying in other cultures and stuff too, I think people just have a higher sense of duty and responsibility. And I think that can be a lot. Like you don't have to be as like, okay, I'm just gonna marry anybody or do a prearranged marriage or anything. But you can still, if you have a strong sense of integrity and a strong sense of purpose, like for what you're doing, then I think you can go far. But a lot of people don't have that sense of purpose. They just, I'm getting married because I'm in love, right? Everything is so good right now. And then, like you said, they have all these ideas of how it's gonna be. Because I don't think,
and what is love?
I don't think you can necessarily even get like relationship skills necessarily from other people, right? Like I think that that's something you have to be in relationships to develop, right? That's just what I think. Like you can have the concept of stuff, but I don't think you could be like you know how it is when you never really know how you're going to respond or what's going to happen in the situation till you're in that situation, right? Like you could look and be like, oh, when my grandmother got mad, she did this, but how you gonna act when you get mad? Right? What do you do when you get mad? Like you can look at what somebody else do when they get mad, but they not you, right? They don't have the same traumas and the same triggers and the same whatever. So you can't just be like, well, I'm gonna act like you don't know how you're gonna act, right? So my point is, if you have a higher sense of purpose, then I think you're more willing to work on it because you're looking around and you like, this is something that I'm building. This is important. This is bigger than me. This is my family stability. Like this is my legacy. Right. But if you just like, well, I'm not happy, or let me go over here.
I agree. I think some people don't value the union, and then some people don't have the skills to keep the union together. Dana and T Love have been a little quiet. Can you all chime in? Have you all thought?
I mean, everybody's basically saying what I'm saying. Like even Candace saying a higher purpose. I was saying back in the day, people got married for necessity because it was. And that was like, there was no such thing as divorce. So when you committed to that was your higher purpose and you were also unable to get out of it. It's the same thing. Like if you have a higher purpose, like that's something that you need to do. And that's what keeps people in marriage. I think necessity keeps people in marriage. And I think independence kills marriage because by definition, you're alone. You don't need the other person. I feel like people need each other to stay together. And today that's not, back when Darwin was saying that, you basically every marriage needs to be customized to that person. I feel like, there's a little bit of that, but I feel like there needs to be a strong standard. Like this is what we're doing, so that nobody's like, no, you did that. But it's like, no, this is the standard. If everybody's doing the standard, there's no reason.
Oh yeah, it definitely needs to be a standard. Yeah. Between those two people.
But the only thing I asked with that, Tony, when we say back in the day people needed to stay together and stuff like that, I feel like we can't really quantify how many people actually stayed together. Because they may have been together on paper. What I'm saying is, like you say, she with the milkman, he over here with the lady up the street. Like, are they really together? Like, they could be married on paper, but was people really staying together? Like, I know older people who was still married on paper to people, and they ain't been with them in years, right? Like, so I don't know. And I think that that's difficult to quantify how many marriages actually stayed together in the sense that you're saying, as opposed to on paper they were married. But were they married in practice? Were they married in action? Like, I don't know.
And all I'm gonna say is
anywhere. We don't have that anywhere. We don't have it now. We didn't have it then. We can't quantify it today. We can't quantify it then. But we have this idea of what we want. And it's true that you do need a standard. Like some things are just concrete. Some things we don't know, but some things are for certain. You definitely need some type of standard to abide by.
I agree that you need a standard, yeah.
Because what happens is when people do get divorced, that they put it, that's going through a standard, you go to a judge. That usually, I mean, I don't know. I'm in Texas, so the state of Texas is like child support is standard. Like you paying, I think it's 20% for the first one, and then after that it goes up, or it's like 10% for the second one or something like that. But it's like a standard, so it's like no.
Kids outside of marriage.
What's that?
I say don't have no kids outside of marriage, Tony.
No, I'm talking about inside of marriage. You divorce.
I know, I'm just kidding.
So when people look at the marriage rate dropping and the divorces going up, what I'm saying is I don't look at that as a bad thing, because I feel like people are now starting to find their purpose. So they're just not hopping into marriages all willy-nilly anymore. So women are taking their time.
That's what I'm saying. So I want to use this moment to to put in my candidacy for president of the United States. Like I want you to but what I do
2024.
think, no, seriously. What I do think, though, like, this is something that I feel like should be instituted. I think that we should have like a 3-7, 3-10 marriage rule type situation where when people get married,
contracts,
you can get out in 3 years. After the 3-year period, if you feel like you want to renew, 7 years after that. After the 7 years is done again, you get another 3-year option. Like after that, it's a 10-year option or a life option after that.
That is hilarious. Because it's so funny because Tony,
I'm on a 10-day contract all
seriously, Tony, every 10 years that me and my husband have been married, we do this little evaluation to see if we're gonna make it to the next 10 years. At first it was a joke, but now on our anniversary, we literally ask each other certain questions that really assess how we're treating each other. And what are we doing as life partners together? Now, for some of us, and Ashley, let me tell y'all something, because you've heard me talk about it on the show and out the show about being I'm a Bible reader and I'm into Proverbs 31. See, spiritually, you do have a contract if you are a Bible reader and Bible believer and a follower of God. You have a contract. Now, it ain't like what future President Tony talking about, but there is some type of contract. There is some type of standard. When you talk about like when it was mentioned about purpose and vision, because Tony, I mean, I know we're joking. You said what you said about the contract, but he owned to something, because I think a lot of times people are just getting married. They don't know what they're getting into. They kind of think that, I always call it reinventing the wheel. I see so many young couples, so many new couples trying to reinvent the wheel in a sense where when they get divorced, I'm not even surprised, because it's like you literally thought you were going to bring something into a covenant and a contract. Imagine a business deal where you're bringing something into the business that ain't got nothing to do with the business, and you expecting the business to work. That is what I see when people start getting married and kind of straying away from some type of blueprint. Now, I'm not saying you got to be like me. I ain't saying you got to be like this person or that person. But Tony owned to something. You need to sit down and state your terms, just like Dana talked about before. Communication. People are looking at the optics and what's out there. You need
to sit down and take your time.
But that too. Y'all have heard me say it on the
women
show
are getting shamed for not getting married before 40. Like if they ain't found the one, they just ain't found the one. And
that's it.
And dudes are getting, something must be wrong with you if you ain't found. Hey, maybe everybody don't want to get married, and everybody has found out that marriage is not to be played with. So people are not just marrying women. Men are not marrying women no more just because they're beautiful.
And the thing is,
we not doing that no more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And women are not marrying men just because they have money. So therefore, the marriage rate will go down. That's just.
And when you sit down to do a contract, a covenant, and agreement, you're not the only person sitting at the table. And so somebody just put up a comment about individualistic and selfish. I have said it so many times on my Facebook page, Instagram, and on this show. If you know you're selfish, if you know you are incapable of sharing anything, any details of your life, you have absolutely no business getting married. That's it. That's all of it. No woman or man gonna come along and convert you into this loving, giving person. If you are selfish, stay single.
Mm-hmm. So stay single. Back though to the relationship skills, I think that's one of the main reasons people are not working out. Like I really do. Like I just listen to different couples and there's usually somebody who's hurt the other, somebody who's not willing to move past that hurt, trust issues, a lack of communication. People are stubborn as hell today. Like people are just very, very stubborn. It's people don't take the time and aren't humble enough to see it.
But and selfish and individualistic. Like when you don't have, again, when you more concerned about just this inward, thing, when you always focused in here, right? How do I feel? What do I want? What am I doing? What do I need? Instead of looking out there and saying, what can I do to make this better? What can I do? What's my responsibility here? Then I think that that people are more selfish and individualistic. And like when you look at other societies, like just other societies that aren't as individualistic, they have a higher sense of community and stuff. But we have been moving more and more to individualism, where everybody just think that they can do it on their own, and that's just not true. Like it's literally not true. Like you need other people. And the more you can work with other people, the better your life is gonna be, and the better everybody's life is gonna be. Instead of just out here vacuum by yourself, like that's not true.
I think a lot of that also speaks into a lot of hurt that's happened with people over the years. They've either been party to that as a child and grew up around that, and then perpetuated that in their adult life, and they haven't taken time to heal. A lot of that selfishness comes out of pain. And so when people don't take the time to heal themselves and to understand their own motives, take accountability for their own downfalls, then they end up bringing all of that into the next relationship, and then it becomes the blame game. So I think what we see, especially in the Black community, there's a lot of hurt in our community. There's a lot of trauma in our community, and we see it on TV, we see it in social media, we see it among our friends, and we see it in our own families. And because a lot of our families grew up saying, well, we don't need to tell our business for real. So people put on a show, people don't go to therapy, people are not exploring those things that maybe brought them to a space of a low point that they keep taking somewhere else. And I mean, I can even admit that in my own life, that there were things that I wasn't ready to admit about myself. And it's one of the reasons why I took time to say, look, I don't really want to date right now. I need to explore what's really going on and what I really need and what is most important in my life right now, because it's not fair to bring that into another relationship with another person and expect that just because you change the venue, change the characters, that all of a sudden things are going to be different. That's not how life works. So I think we have a lot of that, and that also is bringing a lot of relationships to an end. So it's not just purely people being selfish or, not thinking about other people or being stubborn. A lot of it is the root of why they are like that.
Man, I think we could talk about so many reasons why people get divorced. Right? It's not just one root cause of divorce. I mean, you and your lady, y'all can be flying high for you and your significant other could be, in a great place for years, right? Then you bring a kid into the mixture. Babies changes things, right? You know what I'm saying? That could cause a strain in a relationship. That can cause, So it's not I won't necessarily say that one root cause why people choose to stay together and not choose to stay together. I think that is just so, like back to my point earlier, it's easier to quit. It's easier to not stick with it because other people around you see them quitting. You know what I'm saying? Other people's marriages are not working out. Oh man, my boy, he cheating on his wife, you know what I'm saying? So I want to be like him, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, so many people trying to mimic what other people are doing. And what I realized though in my marriage that we do operate as individuals because I'm not trying to make her me. I'm not trying to be her. I gotta respect her as an individual because when I bring up a point and that she don't like that point, I gotta remember that she got her own mind. So I gotta learn to say, okay, let me see what she's talking about so that I can not necessarily do exactly what she's saying, but maybe I need to change my approach a little bit.
Learn how to accept it. Learn how to accept it.
Yeah, learn how to accept it, or maybe come back with
Fine.
another solution that may work for us. You know what I'm saying? But this is how we engage in our conversation. This is how we continue to talk, because we're looking for a better end goal, right? It's not, my marriage isn't perfect. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh man, we got this most perfect marriage ever. You know, no, it's constantly changing because we're constantly evolving. I grow every day. I'm trying to be my best self every day. So I ain't gonna be the same guy I was when I first met her, or when we first said I do. If I'm still the same guy I was at 30, at 50, and I'm doing wrong. I ain't even serving my legacy properly, right? So I understand that this is a journey, right? So people don't understand that marriage is a journey, and they so easy to give up on the journey because it get hard at times, and it does get hard. Marriage is hard at a lot of times. You know, like you said, man, she been married for several years. I mean, for 20 some years. I probably can't even guess how many fights they had. I can't even guess how many, you know what I'm saying, days that she walked in the house and she looked at that nigga. I mean, I'm sorry, excuse me. She walked in the house and she looked at him like, ugh, you hear, you know what I'm saying? But they had to work through that to become and to grow and be who they are, to stay committed. Or they could even say, like, you know what? We had that little petty fight the other night. You know, Joe at the job, he looking good today, or Sue at the job, she was looking good. Now I'm gonna go entertain that. I'm
gonna show up with a cooked lunch and some done hair.
They both go eat it.
Cause I'm known to roll up and be like, listen.
I'm sorry, I gotta step away for 1 second, please.
Cause that's the love.
I got this short video. I like what this lady has said, and she's, you know, I think that it's just a good lesson because she's showing what it looks like to humble yourself and to change. Like we always say, accept me is who I am. And you know, you hear people say that, but I don't think people are supposed to accept it for me.
I like that voice, Ashley. Accept me for who I am.
Yeah, you hear a lot of people say that. But for me, I heard someone say some days ago, I don't want somebody to accept me for who I am. I want somebody to push me or encourage me and inspire me to grow and hold me accountable so that I grow and get better. When you really love somebody, you don't accept them how they are. You love them how they are. But if there are areas where they can change and grow or do better for themselves, then you hold them to that. And so I think that's important. I mean, I'm not married, of course, but just in relationships in general, I think being willing to say I'm wrong is important. Like in every relationship with your mama, your daddy, your sister, your aunt, your cousin, everybody, right? And I like what this lady learned. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, sorry.
Oh, is it not playing?
Now, maybe you don't pack your husband's lunch, but you get the point. The point is that you continue to love somebody, you know, despite the hard times. And if
y'all heard that?
No, I didn't hear it.
Ashley. I thought we was waiting for it to come on.
Oh,
yeah, it never started playing on our end.
Oh my God, I heard the whole thing.
Now Ashley said packing lunches all 2024. Next thing. No.
Oh my God. Okay, basically it was a woman. She shared how like when she would get mad at her husband, she wouldn't want to pack his lunch no more. And so she would wait for him to walk out the door for her to even you know, for him to realize that she had made his lunch. So he didn't even have time to prepare his lunch. He would have to go and like hurry up and finish and pack his lunch. And she did that because she was mad at him, right? And so she learned that that's not love and that's not what being a wife is all about. And so maybe you're not the wife that packs your husband's lunch. That's not the point. The point is that sometimes you have to like check yourself and you have to do better. And you have to continue to love the person that you're with even when you're mad at them, right? And so I like that because it just shows self-reflection. There's another video that I want to actually play of a man who does something similar for his wife, where he checks himself. And I think sometimes things like that are just hard for people to do. All right. But anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. What y'all think about my 3-7-3-10? Oh, that's a good question. What do y'all think about 3-7-3-10 year marriage idea?
Coming from the social services world, where I've had to make treatment plans for clients, you know what? You might be on to something, Tony. You might be on to something.
I'm telling you, if the love is good, if the love is good, everything's good. Matter of fact, I think that it's motivation. Like, you know, you coming up on that 3 mark, you like, all right, let me get to the gym.
My apologies.
Let me do the things.
Will it though? Will it?
I want to get renewed if I'm in love. Like, if
or I can go ahead and get on up out of here.
Or I can like, you know what?
Let me start missing shots on purpose so they can trade my ass. Let me take this injury so they can get rid of me.
When you think about that,
I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at it as I get out of this thing. I look at it as motivation to go to the next thing. Now, if somebody's in that mindset of it not working out, then yeah, they can go ahead and exit. But I think that it's a good way to propel a relationship versus dismantle it.
I just think that it would literally be easier to, because even with like
divorce is divorce. You can divorce in 1 year, 2 years anyway. So
why not? You can, but that requires more effort. What I'm saying is, yes, it do. If somebody just bringing it up, like, come on, we want to do this anyway, then I mean, you could have been mad at them for the past 2 months, and you like, you know what?
We got 3 more years to wait this out. Nah, fuck that. We need to go now.
And somebody come to you, you could have been mad at them for 2 months, and somebody come to you with this paper, and they like, okay, we ran up, and you can be like, but you may not go through the effort to be like, let me go down to the courthouse and let me do all of this. But if somebody just bringing it to you,
okay, so right now we had almost 50% divorce rate. I think my idea will bring the divorce rate down.
I don't know.
I agree. Now, I think so. I look, Tony, you might be on to something. I'm kind of here with you on that, because if I can write a plan of treatment for a client and they can actually do the interventions and the skills and have a higher chance of like, you know, reaching their personal goals, then why can't we have contracts like this where people can actually honor these things and maybe they won't get divorced? Maybe men will get lunches packed. Maybe women will get help around the house. Okay. So Tony, get an Obama suit and get a commercial and just, hey, I got a solution, America.
So for marriages, for happy marriages, yes, this sounds great. They can't wait to renew. Like, oh yes, let's renew. But for people who just not getting along and they hate each other, them 3 or 7 years is gonna come by. You ever seen a basketball player that hated being on the team on that team? They be miserable. They detrimental to the team in the locker room. They not showing up to practice. They going out playing like busters. They talking crazy to the coach. So you telling me in that first year, and I don't want to be with this person, I'm supposed to wait another 2 years? You about to drive up the domestic violence. That's what you're about to do. You're gonna drive up the domestic violence.
Let me rebut though. Okay, listen.
Or maybe the new contract agreement can motivate them to stay on the team.
That's what I'm saying.
What's the incentives then? What's the incentives? What's the bonus? What's the guaranteed money? What like, come on, if you got contracts now.
The guarantee was when you signed it first, like you signed up for this. So if you feel like you in year number 2, you start year number 2, it's not gonna work out. Then you're like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna stick it out for another year and then I'm out. That's just the standard.
So you want someone to be miserable for a year.
If you have a standard of living, you're not gonna be kicking and screaming because you know that's what everybody else doing. Like you might go to work like, I guess got 1 more year and I'm gone.
This sounds like some hostage situation to me.
And one thing I ain't gonna do is be miserable. I'm gonna tell you that right off bat. One thing.
But here's the thing: you can grow from that. You might realize within that 1 year that you can work it out. But if you just leave right away, how you gonna figure out if you can work it out or not?
Hey,
Right.
One thing I ain't gonna do is be miserable, bro. You
Come
know
on
what I'm
now.
saying? And if I'm miserable, I ain't gonna wait around for another year, 2 years, 3 years to
People know if
you're
they're
not-
gonna be together or not.
You don't want
It's
to
like
But you're not going to be waiting. You're going to be working. You're not going to be waiting.
if they
You're going to be
want
working.
to, if they want to
And
work it out,
They are, Darwin. Not if they want to. They are.
well, they could do that
see-
without a contract if that was the case.
But let me
See, this is what we got to do. We got to take the most basic skills that we hold precious in our life and apply them to some of these problems that we're seeing, like with divorce and marriage. Like we got to start.
Y'all
like,
very
like
optimistic.
really speaking
I
on the
like that.
positive.
I like that.
We really do. We got to start.
Y'all
talking
think a
about,
piece
okay,
of paper in this contract that we waiting on in 3 years is really about to do all of this magical?
No. You're not
That's-
listening. It's just like when I sit down with a client. It ain't about the treatment plan on paper. It's about the interventions that I put on there. And we're gonna bullet point this, and we're gonna work on this first, and then we're gonna work on this first, and then we're gonna do this over here, and then we're gonna get you journaling over here, and then you're gonna go to this seminar here.
If you
gotta
marry
speak-
somebody, it's forever. It's not.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
marrying you
forever.
for 3 years, and I'm
It's
out.
forever.
That's. I don't understand how you're gonna drive marriages up with that type. With that.
I don't
logic.
either.
Like,
I don't get
it.
either. I think everybody
That's gonna
else
give people a chance to just get out. Like people are people.
They
People
can get
are
out
still
now. They can get out.
they gonna get out so fast. They're like, "Oh, this ain't working. I gotta."
They go.
You know
they
what?
Gonna be.
You know.
Oh my god.
You know, this person look a little bit better than my person. Then man, I'm gonna mess up. I mean, because there's so many fakeness going on out here, especially if we compare it to social media. You know what I'm saying? Especially if we compare it to
because guess
something
what?
else.
One person will be trying. But the person that don't want to be in that relationship, they're not going to be trying. And the other person will be like, well, I got 3 years to prove to him or her that we can work this out. And guess what's going to happen? They go be
But that
getting
ain't the
shitted on
contract,
for
though.
3 years.
But that's not the contract.
What
I
you mean
don't.
that's
I
not
just
the
don't
contract?
understand what.
No, the contract ain't got nothing to do with you proving to the person who trying to get out.
No,
hey,
you said they go be
I'm gonna try to
working.
keep you in.
Work it. Okay, not proven, but they're going to be working. So one person's going to be working on trying to, like
No.
you said, I'm coming up on that 3
That's
years.
what I said. A contract is between how many people, Darwin? Two. If the second person don't sign the contract, then it's
No, they signed
void
the
in
contract when
first
they got
place.
married. What Tony is saying, if they get married in 3 years, they get to renew it or they don't, or they just not married no more. So they both
Right.
signed the contract to be married, and
Yeah.
say I don't want to be married after this 1 year. That means I have to wait another 2 years because we signed a 3-year contract.
Or pay a stiff penalty.
You gonna pay that regardless.
Send somebody.
People.
hey,
Yeah, we go. That's
either
gonna
do-
pay that stiff penalty.
either do the work or send somebody to college.
Look, Tony, you forgot about that because guess
No,
what?
that's good. That's
If
why
the
you
man
want
on divorce, he gonna be like, yeah, you gonna owe me another $50,000 in alimony because you wanted to cancel the contract early.
right.
Look,
I mean,
look what Mary J.
Oh
Blige
my
going
God!
through. Is that
Oh
not what
my
she going
God!
through?
This is crazy. We can't.
hey, I'm
do
with
this
it.
to
I think
marriages.
that would be a good addendum to it. Like
We
you
have
know,
enough problems in marriages already without.
And
this
the grass
showing
is always
this.
green on the other side until you
I
get over
wanna
there and you
respond
realize it's
to-
turf.
Y'all funny.
I
Y'all
gotta
funny.
respond. But if you saying that people gonna leave anyway, like they're gonna leave anyway. So you saying like someone they gonna wait till year 3 to leave? I mean, if you're gonna leave anyway. Like you may check out mentally and just not get married. Like you're gonna cheat on your spouse if you're gonna leave or move out the house, whatever the case is.
That's what I'm saying. So what is your like?
So
what I'm
what's the
telling you is, so instead of someone divorcing immediately, it gives you a time to reconcile before you can begin divorce proceedings beforehand. Because sometimes people get hot-headed, things happen, emotions change, people get just turned different because of the weather or because of the situation.
I
Newborn
don't think
baby.
people get divorced that
Now-
fast,
now-
anyways. I don't think people get divorced that fast,
Yeah, I was
anyways.
gonna
Like,
say they actually do give you some time to reconcile
Right.
with
They do.
yourself.
And I don't know
when you
about
go
that.
to court and
can't
get
just-
divorced, the judge like actually tells you like y'all got to go to counseling and stuff like that before
Yeah,
y'all
you
get.
have to do all
So
types of stuff.
it's
Ain't none of that. Ain't none of that
What
with
you
this
said-
country.
what-
It's different.
what you saying is
No, no.
almost.
Okay, hold on,
almost
Tony.
already
You losing me,
going on.
Tony. You losing me, Tony. I'm going back.
Listen.
You losing me.
Tony, but I
Listen.
believe this. Tony is gonna do this. When Tony decides to get married, I promise you, I think I know him a little bit. I think he's gonna find a wife that's gonna be down with this contract thing.
She's gonna be
I
a
just
realtor.
know it. I
She's
know
gonna
it.
be a realtor. and they're gonna have a photo in their photo album, and they're gonna
Man,
be
can you imagine Tony calling like, yeah, you know, hey, Cannon, you know, we coming up on the 3 years, you know, yeah, so
Joe,
do you
come
think
back
I
on
should
my
renew
side.
this contract or not? Because you know she did X, Y, Z, and I don't really think she deserves
oh,
another
no,
3
Tony.
years.
Joe,
So,
why
Tony,
I got to get you back on my side because this is a good idea.
Look, the 3 years is the due diligence period, and then during those inspections, if something comes up, then you can come out of the
You can change the
contract.
year terms, but like, you know, you can do a 3 years, something like that. I just feel like you need a time. I feel like that's an incentive to do well. Like I want to show up as my best self. I want her to show up as her best self. That's the goal of it.
But
That's
on
right there. You choosing to show up to be your best bet. I mean, to be your best in your marriage. That's the only incentive that it is when you talk about marriage.
I agree, but I agree with you. But everybody
the commitment is to show up to be your best, to grow to be your best, not to give half effort to your marriage. Let me give you an example. Hope that it's gonna be your best. No,
what you just said, right? Dev's a truck driver, right? You drive like 16 hours a day.
Yeah,
right?
I will. Sometimes
everybody can't do what you can do, right?
Exactly.
I don't know exactly what motivates you, but it's not gonna do. Everybody don't have the same incentive as you. So you have to incentivize people with different ways to get the same result, to get them to go that 16 hours. So if somebody needs every 4 hours to make it to the 16 hours, that's what they need to do what you do.
But Tony, but everybody don't want to be a truck driver. I don't even want to be a truck driver.
Everybody don't want to be
Tony, divorced truck driving. You know what I'm saying?
I think we just came up with a new topic for next week's show. Marriage contracts. Send in your best draft.
Tony Love,
we're gonna have Tony lead the discussion.
Previously, you just said that when you give people options, we're not supposed to do that. So you're going to give these people these options now to get out of a relationship. We just talked about not giving them options to get divorced. So how is not giving options now?
Because we have options now. Like we're not going back from options. We already in that boat. We're in the options boat already. So now we are providing incentives versus options. Like we're providing incentives. You know what I'm saying?
But what? Okay, help me understand. What is the incentive though? Like, what incentivizes? I heard penalties, but what's the incentive?
No, I didn't.
I'm the one who said the penalties. Okay. But there are incentives. Like Tony, I think what Tony is saying is that the actual big incentive is that your marriage is now in a new, in a new place, in a better place. But what are the incentives leading up to? What are the small pieces of carrots leading?
I'm saying what incentivizes somebody just because they know that their marriage contract is coming to like just like Darwin said. I think if you have one person that's already like, I gotta be on my best behavior because it's coming up. They might leave me or whatever, then they may act right. But if the other person done, they're gonna be like, "Oh, good that they didn't put this contract in me."
Well, look, I want to play this. This kind of relates. This is a video I actually wanted to play earlier too. So
the fact that we discussing this, I give Tony a lot of kudos. I might vote for you now, Tony. The fact that this is a discussion.
I'm gonna say this. Y'all tell me what y'all think about it.
A regimented husband.
Do y'all hear that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
which means I wasn't a good husband. I was just good on paper. I went to work. I came home. She stayed home. She didn't have to work. She had babies. So during that marriage, this is what the Bible says. This is what, this, that, and the other. And I'm forcing my hand. I'm young. I'm like in my early 30s. I was for the streets. So when she said I wanted a divorce, that's the context. And so my response was, I got you. I can see why you would. Give me a year and maybe you won't. During that year, I spent time just trying to be a better man. And I know that's very cliche and very general, but trying to be more attentive, trying to be very gentle, because I wasn't always gentle with my words or my tone or my voice. I was critiquer. I was critical of her all the time. So I spent that time pulling away from places where I thought I caused her pain. Yes, there was some improprieties on her part, but I don't really go into those because I know what I did. And I think a real man should own his shit. And if you're not ready to own your shit, And if you're not ready to own it without trying to flip it back, like I did this, but this is what you're not being a real man of character. I was a regimented husband.
All right, what do y'all think?
Growth. Growth. That's all I can think about what that brother's talking about. He said he grew. You know what I'm saying? He said he realized that, you know, he thought he was the man. You know what I'm saying? Then when his wife came to him and told him, "Hey boy, you ain't as good as you think you are. I actually want out." He had to self-evaluate himself. Like, damn, what am I doing wrong? I think I'm doing everything right. And they talked about it. She communicated what was wrong in that situation. And from that, he grew from that. That's
No, he
that's
did
what I'm
say
talking about.
he was for the streets.
He said it. He said he was for the streets. But see, he found out that if I'm the best version of myself as a husband, maybe the incentive is I become a better man, period.
Well,
Because let me tell y'all something.
I think it was kind of flipped. I think he was saying if I'm a better man, then I'll be a better husband. Like instead of putting it on like, oh, this husband is gonna make you a certain way, this title, having a more of a like that has to come. I feel like that has to come from inside. You know what I mean?
Intentionality.
I want to be a better man. Like, it's not gonna come from outside.
And what did I say? You can't buy
Intentionality.
women no more. He said, "I'm paying all the bills. You can't buy women no more." That don't mean nothing to women. You paying the bills and she ain't got to work. That means absolutely nothing.
No, intentionality is what matters.
So it has to
you being able to be a willing participant, not willful, not sitting on your hands and saying I can't do something because I don't want to do it. You actually willing. You getting off your hands and saying, you know what, I can't do this part, but I'm willing to meet you here to do this. And then eventually you're doing it. You know, you're showing growth, you're showing progress, you're showing change. Because if I sat here tonight and told y'all I was the same Jovo on May 29, 2004 that I was like today, oh, I would be a big behind lie. Okay, I had to learn how to be a wife. I had to grow and learn a big lie. Okay, a big lie. In my big age, I can tell you that you are not the same year one in marriage than you are now. We know what we were doing. We were young and in love. Dana would tell you we got married across the street from the school. It was like it's us against the world. And then we get in that small behind apartment and we like, oh, why we gotta do all of this and what is all of this? And I had to literally get some help. I had to learn. I had to work on myself. That man just said and him working on himself, he became a better husband. And vice versa. Like he had to do
zoom in on her titties for.
Here we go. Here we go. Is it Kanye hour already?
Man, too funny. You tripping.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I love that video, Ashley, because people don't realize people be so quick to give up on something, not realizing that you're gonna find a better version of you inside of yourself and inside of your marriage just by doing the work. Just by doing the work.
You got to do the work.
Yes.
That's something he made me realize something like in my marriage. It's easy for me, like when things are going bad, I try to automatically go to the things I'm good at, like cooking and and spending time and stuff, like instead of trying to apply pressure to doing the things that I'm bad at, like communicating and stuff like that. And I think a lot of marriages, like it's easy for us to do the things that we know how to do and like to do for our mate. It's easy to do that, like, but sometimes that's not what they need or want. No, sometimes it's the hard things that we're not good at that we have to try to tap into to make them happy. And,
like George, I think he's got it.
Yeah, and that's what I've been learning. Like really this last year, like I have to dig deeper into the stuff that I really don't like to do,
or just listen. Or just listen to her. Yeah. Listen to what she told you. You know what I'm saying? So many times
it's the communication part for me.
Our significant other what we want, and they don't hear us. You know what I'm saying? You too busy going to cook. She didn't even want the cooking. You know what I'm saying? She just wanted to go out for a walk down the street. She just wants you to hold her hand. She just wants you to rub her back. But you know what I'm saying? When you got in the bed, you just think, oh, yeah, it's about to crack. Walking to put that move on it I always do. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes listening is
break her back.
Listening be the number one key that sometimes that we miss out on when it comes to the communication.
What's that meme? All these black men out here buying $500 purses, and your wife at home want a hug. She want a hug. She wants you to touch her on behind and you come home with a $500 purse.
Yeah. That's exactly what.
You know how many times I've heard that in my line of work? Like, you know, like bukus of money. And it's just like, and this me, hold on, I gotta go into character. This me right here. She said she want to hold your hand. Why you ain't holding her hand?
Yeah, because she gonna take that person.
Well, I bought her a bag. She said she want to hold your hand.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the affection and the intimacy that she was looking for. That wasn't the nurture and the care that she was. You know what I'm saying? She needed a shoulder to cry on, and I wasn't a shoulder for her. I bought her a bag I gave her some material stuff in order to try to help soothe her feelings. But I
and it was easy for you.
Yeah.
Like Darwin said, it was just easy. Ain't no effort in that.
And
you know, you finna make that back next week. There's no effort. But to get uncomfortable and actually form your mouth to say, you know what, I was wrong when I said this to you, and I want to show up better for you. That for that to come out to see, you gotta go hard doing the hard stuff. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you got it.
I think this gonna tap into like our next topic about dating. Like when you get married, it all starts with dating and establishing those boundaries and those wants and needs in the dating part, right? And to lead you into the marriage. Because if you don't get the dating part right, you about to be fucked in this marriage.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a good segue then.
Yeah.
I like this video. I appreciate what you guys were sharing about, like, you know, just being a husband, like in a relationship. Because when I see a lot of things on social media, I hear a lot of men say women want us to be women. They want us to be like them. And I think like whenever women are talking about like some of the things they need outside of just paying the bills, that's what I hear. I hear them say a lot that women are trying to make men more like them as opposed to appreciating them for who they are. But I like what Shaquille O'Neal says, and I know people got a lot to say about him, but I like what he just shared about like what men actually should do in their marriages. So here, I want to go ahead and play this part.
Material emotions.
Why?
Because when you're put in a certain position, you have to make sure everybody else is okay. I don't use the term baby mamas. I have 2 lovely women that I'm responsible for. Even if they're in a relationship, I'm responsible for you. It's a man's job to protect, provide, and love. I have 6 children that I'm responsible for. I have a mother that I'm responsible for. I got 1 remaining brother, 1 remaining sister that I'm responsible for. Before I think about myself, I have to think about them. And by the time I think about them every day, then I got to go to work. It's 2 a.m. So
Ashley, I'm sorry. I think that's the wrong video. Maybe it was
the one
Was it the one when he was talking about? Yeah, where he said he messed up.
No, not that one. Maybe it was not him. Maybe it was another guy. He said he talked about protect, provide, and love. And basically he was saying that, you know, a lot of men say men protect and provide and they forget the love part. And I think sometimes men have a hard time with that for various reasons, right? Fellas, y'all can speak on that. But it does seem like
they forget the protect part. They be like, if an intruder come in here, I'm gonna beat him up. But like, what?
Yeah, but you know how the fellas and
For men, this has become hard sometimes to pass out love because, you know, a lot of times, I mean, you know, growing up, especially, you know, in our background, that man, we don't get a lot of love. You know what I'm saying? We don't, you know, my mentor back in the day told me this. He said, man, you know, we don't get enough hugs and kisses. You know what I'm saying? I mean, mom is cool, you know what I'm saying? But even just from just other guys, or just even from, you know what I'm saying? Because we always got to play this tough role. You know what I'm saying? Like if I start crying right here, these guys will be looking, what the fuck wrong? I mean, what the heck wrong with dude? You know what he doing? You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
he's still there, unfortunately. Yeah, he ain't lying.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we don't get enough hugs and kisses. We don't get enough chances to express that love. And so it's when you don't get it, you don't even know how to pass it back. You know what I'm saying? You can see something on the internet right now, and a father kiss his son. They be like, "Oh, he teaching him how to be gay." You know what I'm saying? Like,
he kissing him in the mouth with his tongue. Hell yeah!
There you go.
But I'm just saying, even just a simple hug, right? You know what I'm saying? I make sure I hug my babies every day. You know what I'm saying? I make sure that I show them love and environment because the world don't give that love. Ain't no love out here in these streets, man. Ain't no these, you know what I'm saying? People praying on you, you know what I'm saying? So they ain't no out here. You ain't gonna go outside and find a genuine love outside. You know what I'm saying? And when you in the household, yeah, you might have mama giving you love, but if you ain't got no male figures there to showing you that it's okay to give another man a hug, then how you gonna hug your brother? You know what I'm saying? When I mean in the literal sense of the T Love and Triple G and my brothers, how I'm gonna hug this man if I've been told all my life hugging another man is weak. Hugging another man ain't strong enough, right? You know what I'm saying? So and that's why I think it is like, yeah, we know how to protect because we know how to, you know what I'm saying? We've been taught to put up our dukes, to now the dukes in turn to shooting, you know what I'm saying? But no, we don't know how to show that.
That's what I'm saying, but I think it's the wrong idea of protection. I think they think protection means physical protection, like physically protecting. Like I don't even think that that's really necessary in this day and age. Like, who really outside just fighting every day and need physical?
Well, maybe tomorrow. Maybe.
I gotta fight for every day. What he say?
The word can go to shit real quick. Like you don't know. Plenty of women who got
Tony, you've been talking to my husband in the comments. He come with the apocalypse.
But that's
know how to use weapons.
I'm telling you.
But your exact point is why I think it's so easy for men to rest on the physical part of it. Because first of all, most of them can't physically protect shit. Like you act like they, stuff. But they act like they out here taking martial art classes and all this other stuff. No, and like I say, they not fighting every day. So how you think you're just gonna get into a fight and you just gonna win? Like, and you gonna protect somebody? and the other part is, what actual work are you consistently doing in this protection phase? If you could just keep resting on, well, one day something might happen. I'm the protector. I swear I am.
Why we getting bigger and fatter and slower and drinking more booze? We just really gonna be protected.
And I'm just saying,
it's like if a woman believes that the man
that they want to be had for like this idea of physical protection without even ever doing it. It's like.
I mean, you live in a very safe time, Cannon. Like it's very safe.
That's exactly that's what I'm saying. So to be able to rest on that and want respect for it,
sarcastically,
be like, if the situation did happen, no, we do live in a very safe time. We really do. This is the safest that the world has ever been.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Boy, y'all gotta start reading all these statistics.
No, I'm not talking about statistics. I'm just talking. I don't know why people be thinking this. Do you know people just used to be humans are horrible. So I don't know why we had this idea and we be like, no, do you know the Harlem, the witch trials and all of that stuff? They was just hanging people left and right, like, because they didn't like people. There's a witch. Like, people was just doing that. Like, the world is safer now because it can be safer. Because
you couldn't even get on the bus with Jordan back in the day. You couldn't get on the bus with Jordans, a fitted cap. You was getting your ass whooped and snatched off the bus. Now these kids is going everywhere with designer shoes, doing all types of stuff. So the world is much safer because it's.
I don't know. That's Chicago. I grew up on dirt roads.
It depends on where you grow. It depends on what area you live in too. I mean, when some people might be calling the safest time, they might be like, "Damn, it's pretty."
We used to walk through the woods. We used to walk through the woods and then find our way back.
Times now. People are hackers. People are scammers. People don't have to go and beat nobody ass for money no more.
Right.
They just get on the computer. Bye. Let me get some of that. So violent
crimes.
The
only thing is, you just don't need as much physical crime now. Like you don't even need it. People can do different types of crimes to get what they're trying to get. So
actually, I just got one more thing to say to Candace's point.
All right, go ahead.
The other P word that goes into the dictionary definition for protection is preserve. So protection for me, when I think of my husband protecting us, he's doing everything he can to preserve our family, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, and otherwise. Because you got to go in and you got to go out to preserve something and to protect it. I'm just saying.
So he preserving all. He doing all that to preserving. What you preserving over there for him, Miss Jovo?
I can't say that on camera.
I ain't fooling with y'all.
Miss Jovo.
And it's the church girl. She's in the church.
She said she doing it under the covenant.
You got to drink over that today, Mr. Jovo.
Man.
Y'all are funny.
All right, the next question. How has online dating affected dating? This might
Oh, I've
be
been waiting
hard
for this.
you married folks. But so I want to start with Dana and Tony. How has online dating, in your opinion, affected dating? And if you have any stats to back it up, please share. Dana, we haven't heard from you in a minute.
Dana, look at your face.
I'm
sorry, because
Wait,
no, I feel your pain from over here, friend. But go.
Listen, I would call myself the OG online dater because back in the college club days, Black Planet days, if y'all remember any of that, you know, I was and still am the introverted person that didn't really find myself in the crowds. So I felt like that was a good way to go. But honestly, now with online dating apps, I feel like it's really muddied the waters. There's E. coli in the dating pool right now. And it's not because I think people are inherently bad. I think a lot of it is when you have an app and there's literally thousands of people that you're swiping through, it gives you the illusion that you have all these choices, but you don't. We do not have all the choices that the apps think, you know, want us to think that we have. It's just we have more access to people that are not for us. And also I think it reinforces bad behavior. And I'll go back to communication. People are very quick to swipe on you, but people will not communicate. There's the ghosting, there's the benching, you know, the breadcrumbing, all of those things that happen when you're using an app because our attention is drawn to so many shiny pennies or like something that's better. Like, oh, this person seems nice, but oh, that person actually looks better. Or that person seems like they make more money, or that person has better pictures, whatever it is. People are distracted. And so no one is putting in the time. And it's gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm not going to do any of the apps anymore. If I can't meet anyone organically, then I mean, it is what it is because you spend so much time, you know, one, convincing yourself that you really want to talk to someone, then you get into that space where you're having a good conversation or you think you're having a good vibe with that person, and all of a sudden everything just goes dark and you don't know what happened to them. So I think that it affects dating because it reinforces just bad communication behavior. Mm-hmm. And I think it also is just unrealistic. It's not realistic. People are not taking time to get to know each other. It's superficial. And honestly, the apps are made to make money. They're not made so that you actually find a person. They want to sell you as part of their algorithm so that you stay on it more, you know?
Okay. All right. What do you think?
So with all that said, do you still do it?
She said no.
No. Oh
no. It's been 4 years since I've been like active.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Really? No. Has it really been 4 years?
Yes.
It has.
Man.
Yep.
So what you doing now? You going to strip clubs now? Where you going? Are you going to museums?
No, I have not dated in 4 years. I don't.
What? So have you met, like, do you meet people when you're out?
Good batteries.
Do people, like, do you meet people? Who said that?
You know who said that.
I literally go to work and I come
last
home.
call, bartender, the last call.
So,
don't pour another drink. I don't even know you, bro. Hey,
no more. We're cutting you off.
Right.
She right there.
You know what? I don't actually. I just kind of.
Oh, okay.
The past 4 years, I've really just explored more things for myself. So this past November, I used to travel a lot for work, but this past November, I went on a solo trip purely for my own like enjoyment. I went to New Zealand. It was amazing. I had the most amazing time in my life, you know? And so traveling connecting with my community of girlfriends and family, really just feeding myself when it comes to having good relationships in general, and not really concerning myself with, oh, I need to find a man, because I'll be honest, I'm not interested in having children. So I know for the most part that counts me out for a lot of men who want to have a family, and that's okay. You know, I've gotten to the
already. You could just get one who already got families and they done. No, I'm just
You need to lie.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that one. But like, I finally gotten to the point where I'm real with myself about what I want, and I mean, I'm in my early 40s. My life is very uncomplicated, and I like that. It's very peaceful.
Are you open to dating and marrying a man that has a child or more?
It would depend on how old their child is. I realize I don't necessarily want to be a parent.
Okay.
And so
they need to have an adult child.
Adult child, or at least a child that's 16 or older.
No, you need to go for adult. You still be having to raise them teenagers.
Can you imagine?
I work with teenagers all the time, and so I know it's challenging, but I think for a long time, especially in my 20s and even in my 30s, I thought about, well, what about family? What about having kids? I'm on this time clock. And I got to the point where I said, you know what, Dana, this is actually a blessing that it's taken this long, because I think I could have gotten into a situation where I would have gotten married and been disillusioned about what I thought it was, and realized that you have to determine what you want before you get there. And at this point, I'm like, I really want a companion where we can travel, we can, make something, we can encourage other people. Maybe we can do something in our lives that is impactful, that helps other people. I like philanthropy. I love volunteering. I work in the nonprofit space, so that's important to me. But I don't need, nor do I want, all the conventional stuff that people talk about is important in getting married. I've definitely come across the manosphere where they talk about women hitting the wall, or their value is not good after a certain age, or if they have children, all of that stuff. And all of that is just made up. It's just made up cultural norms that people buy into. And I just refuse to buy into it anymore. And so if I meet someone that's great, I think that, there was a long time in my life where I felt like I have to be a good Christian, and then I will get married, and then we'll do all these things in the church. And I realized that there's nothing in the Bible that says every single person is going to get married. Like, that is not promised to us. Mm-hmm. It is a good thing, and it is something that can be a blessing, but it is not a promise. And at the end of the day, I had to realize that my life can be complete with or without being married. And if I have the opportunity and get to get married at some point in time, that is great. It is just different. It is a different status. It is a different purpose. It is a different pathway. And there's neither one of them, where it's married or single, that one is better than the other. And so if I can't be comfortable and find joy within my own life as I am, I'm never going to be happy as a married person.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So for me right now, it's more about exploring, well, these apps are not it. It's just not.
Okay. Shut her ass down. She said so what it's all about.
But one more thing. From what I understand, the apps are not necessarily that great for women anyway, because you got dudes sliding up in there, sending you explicit pics out the blue, and just I done seen some crazy stuff on the app. So I mean, the men already outnumber the women.
Dana, they have no idea. Dana,
I see them talking about the app.
I show her mine.
You on his way upstairs?
No, because I like to read things and I like to know information. So from what I've seen, they say that men outnumber women on the apps, and that it does like downplay actual connection, and they just looking at what they see and they're like, ooh, sexy, and they coming at people like that. So,
Can I say something?
for the most part.
I think Ms. Lady, she said a lot. You know what I'm saying? She talked about how how the apps are muddied down and watered down. I mean, I do know some people who've actually been on these different sites and they living happily married after right now. You know what I'm saying? At least that's what's going on right now. I think at one point in time when this was new, I think it was a great thing and a great tool for at newness. But then you had these different things come up like Tinder, swipe left, swipe right, and people started using these things as hookup sites. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. Like, hey, I swiped up with this girl, and now I done banged like 7 girls off it. Not me personally, but I'm saying this is the stories that people are talking about. Like, man, I slept with like 7 girls. I met this person off of these apps, and so that's what it lost its value. Like most things do. In the beginning, a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? You start investing in real estate, then somebody start putting everybody else on, then the trend just ain't the same no more because it began to lose its value, it began to lose its power because you get all these other different individuals and these different players entering into this arena with the wrong intentions.
So I'm glad it's three men on here, right? I'm not on no dating apps. I never was into that.
Me neither.
But if you wasn't and Tony wasn't, how many of y'all friends was on dating apps that was like, yeah, I'm looking for me a wife on this dating app?
No,
I don't know none.
No, they said
all my friends on dating apps,
they was on there hooking up.
They was going there to fuck.
Right, exactly. What he said. That was going.
I don't know too many dudes that was like, yeah, I'm just trying to find the one, so I'm about to go on Tinder and look for. I'm about to really study her profile and see if she could be the man. All my guys that I know that was on dating apps was going there strictly to smash, and that was that. Now I'm not saying every man, but like she said, the water is muddy, so it's gonna be hard to find a genuine man on there that's really looking for you to get to know you. You know what I'm saying? And then if you did find that man, how confident are you to even trust it? You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't look into nobody's eyes and get that genuine. You don't know their tone or how they talking unless you then got the swap numbers and you're talking to them. And still, if you're not face to face, it's still kind of hard to gauge how honest somebody is. I think that's a lot to do with like the Facebook stuff. Even when you just conversate, just period on Facebook, you come in, people don't even know your tone. They don't even know your intent on when you speaking until you because you can get confused. Like, damn, is this motherfucker mad or not? You know what I'm saying? So how real can it be when you're online dating and the dude is macking to you? Like, yeah, you be like, the motherfucker can say anything online. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's why I never really tried to get serious with no woman online because I'm like, man, you saying anything? I don't even trust women in person, so they don't trust nobody on no dating app.
Okay,
for sure.
So Tony, you've never tried dating app?
No, yeah, absolutely. I've tried dating apps. So
I don't know what it is, T-Love.
So
that's why he got that name. That's why they call him T-Love.
I think the dating app has a lot to do with like it's age range and attention too. Because it's like if you older like me, I just made 39, so I'm older. Like I'm not like a 25-year-old. So I feel like when dating apps first came out, it's a little bit different with your intention of you trying to get on there. And then you got also is different dating apps for different things. Now Tinder is like that's like all right, I'm trying to smash something. But at the same time, I got 2 friends that got married off Tinder because people forget that it's about physical attraction. So if you do wind up finding somebody like, oh, I just want to smash, and you do that, and you realize like, oh, we actually read the same books and we actually blah blah blah, and you could grow into something. Like that's just how it happens in real life. A lot of times you see a woman, it's like she's attractive, I'm trying to smash, but then you realize like I actually like her too, because you know that you got that second brain. For a lot of guys have that second brain situation. So once that brain is gone, it's like, oh, my actual brain still likes her. Like I still like this as a person. So
right,
you don't feel like and to your point, you're right. Like you can't gauge, you can't look that person in their eyes, Darwin. You don't know exactly what it is who they are as a person, anything. But as you go along with the apps, you start to get more attuned to certain things. Like, all right. Like, well, for me, physically, obviously, I'm a guy. Like, so I care about the physical. So you looking like, okay, cool. I know that's the filter, or I know that's a lot of makeup. So I don't know. I don't know who this person is. It could be Luther Vandross. I'm talking. No idea what this is at all. So I go into it with that mindset and then just talk to the person and get to know them. Then you can video chat and you go from there. And then you go from video chatting and do a little coffee date, or you can do something more upscale if you really feeling that person, like you can do those things. So it's more of a fine-tuned process now in 2024 than it was when it first came out. Because now it's like it's wild. Anybody can look like me.
So I got a quick question.
If I wanted to, I just got to throw a filter on, and I'm
got a quick question
on Hinge or Tinder or whatever.
Are you in, or do you do the exclusive dating apps like the ones you pay and they do like background checks and stuff like that, or not? Because I heard it's something like that you have to like you have to have a membership, you pay, and they do background checks, and it's like exclusive.
Oh, that must be for the people in another tax bracket.
No, they do have those. They do have exclusive, but I feel like those are. I've never tried to know, so I can't even judge. I don't even know.
Okay.
But I would just feel like you would limit your dating pool to something like that, because I feel like most women ain't trying to. Most women are bred to believe they don't have to pay to get a man. They were like, no, you need to pay for me. You need to take me out there. So most women, I feel, aren't just going to pay absurd amount for dating apps. They might pay a little small subscription, but not a high.
You see the strip club?
I think. Listen, I tried eHarmony and I was on it for a year, and it was like probably several $100s just to have that. Yeah, and it was no different than. It was actually quieter because there were less people who were willing to pay for it.
My wife had to pay for me.
eHarmony.
I'm just kidding.
Just kidding. Were you also on any other dating app at the time? Or were you just on eHarmony?
So the only ones that I have like really invested like financially in have
just when you were on eHarmony, were you on any other apps?
At one point I had eHarmony and I was using Bumble.
There you go. So it's like the same women that's going to be on the paid ones are going to be on the regular. So it's like, why would you?
No.
Well, the thought process is that, you know, you pay for. And so if you're on one where you're not really paying anything, then you expect to have a whole volume of people that you may filter through, but maybe you'll have more quality. I mean, I even joined like a singles club here in Atlanta that was a lot of money, and I'm like, I don't know why I paid for that, you know, because it didn't really yield anything, and it was more so about if you want something, you need to invest in it. And it got to the point I'm like, it really actually, when it comes to dating at this point, I don't know that it matters more than just being in the right place at the right time and making sure that you are doing what you need to do to make yourself a good person, not necessarily hinging that on possibly meeting another individual. It's just, I am going about living my life. And if I meet someone, that is great. And if I do not, my life is great.
I feel like if I'm a woman living in the area where like all the dudes are like gay or unavailable, like why not just move somewhere where they are, you know, like where the ratio is in your favor? Like wow.
But where is that? I mean, yes, I'm in Atlanta right now, so we know how sketch that is. And I also have a house. Am I going to sell my house? I hear the same things at all the major metropolitan cities. If I want to meet someone that looks like me, then I need to be in one of those major metropolitan cities. And what's going on there? They're the same. They're the same. If I go to Chicago, if I go to Dallas, Houston, we're gonna have some of the same issues. Okay, we've got the homosexuals there. We've got the recent stories there.
We got Ronaldo coming back wife now.
Hey, you know, I'm on one right now, Dana. So,
oh Lord,
if you saw T Love picture, will you swipe left or swipe right? We want to know. Everybody wants to fucking know. Everybody wants to fucking know.
Here we go.
Swipe right or swipe left.
Okay, listen. Okay,
I'm just asking.
You
ain't gotta answer it, but I just want to know.
If I look at my history of dating, like everybody that I've dated, they all look very different. So I have tended to look. Huh?
I'm her friend. I can
all look so different. So I don't have a type. So when it comes to just looking at someone's picture, if I might swipe right, but if their profile doesn't have any substance, that is going to make me swipe left or not be interested more so than their picture, unless their picture looks like a serial killer, where they're not smiling. I don't know why a lot of men have stopped smiling in their pictures. You know, they tell us to smile all the time, but then they look like they're taking a mugshot.
He's in real estate and he's running for president. What? Hey.
Oh,
Yay. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Darwin, hey, take the liquor from Darwin. Just can go downstairs.
He like long walks on the beach.
I mean, I just like, yeah, these
No,
are
but-
two that be on the thing. So I was just asking, like, I was just curious.
So I always hear people say,
I got you, Tony.
I always hear people say women think they have so many options because of online dating. You know, like you guys were just saying, it seems like you have so many options, and then you have men that greatly outnumber the women. But I just don't think like that. Like I don't think that, oh, you have all these options because there are all these men on there, right? But a lot of them are not necessarily men that you really want to date.
The
Like,
illusion.
I really wish
The illusion
I
of
really
options.
I
Yes.
really wish that, like, I was trying to pull up my Bumble account. I may have deleted it
Y'all got a lot of options for sex and
because I'm like, if you're like really looking for something legitimate, like I wish I could just show y'all the profiles. Like, I'm like, this is crazy.
I guarantee you, all y'all women can go out right now and get some ding-a-ling without a problem. Bow. I'm first
Without a
10
problem.
minutes in the
I
club.
will say
First
something.
10 minutes in the club.
I can say this. I can give you this is some game for ladies who may be listening that's single. What I feel like I found is like women are always talking. They like almost all the profiles are almost the same. I would say maybe like 70% of them, like they literally say the same thing, like pineapples on pizza. Do you like it or not? Like this weird shit like that. And it's like where y'all getting this stuff from? Because it's always the same thing. But what I found unique was like profiles that talk about who you are versus what you want. Because they'll say like, if you ain't 6 feet tall, don't come. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, all right, like I'm way taller than 6 feet, but I'm not. It's just like, who are you? So it's like, why don't you just say who you are? Like,
throw that in there, Tony. I'm way taller than 6 feet, just so everybody knows.
Way.
Y'all are not gonna read it. Y'all are not gonna read my profile anyway.
That's right.
Same thing.
I wear a
Like,
size 13.
Post
Anyway,
y'all profiles.
But
Post y'all profiles.
we see that. I see a lot of guys be like,
Post your profile,
I'm 6
Ashley.
foot 6, huh?
Post your
Or
profile,
my
Ashley.
profile. Okay, I'm trying to. I may have deleted it. I'm
Oh,
hold on,
this
let me
what we
finish.
doing?
Let me finish. Let me
look,
finish.
no shame in my game.
Let me finish.
Hey, look, and I was gonna say, no, I was gonna say,
Go ahead.
Women don't
Dana
say
is the
what
OG.
they want.
Dana got
They don't
stories
say
for
what they
days
Wait, hold on,
about some
let
of
it-
these people she's met. So
Yep.
I'm sorry, what?
Dana has stories for days about some of these men, and I'm laughing that she has met because she literally is the OG of the online dating. Like I'm talking about when we were in college, okay, like late 90s, like early 2000s, like yeah, she got stories.
Good for the 99 and the 2000.
I never see on the profiles like who, like tell me about like who, like why it is I would want to take you serious. It is nothing about that. It's just more about what it is they want. Like I put what it is, who I am, so that you can be like, oh, I'm attracted to that person. We're not like, oh, I need you to have
What
this,
they want.
I need you to have that. Just say what it is, who you are, so that the people
Yeah, so they can
be attracted to you. But they don't. It never happens really. It's more of a vanity thing for a lot of women.
Oh wow.
You know, you don't get that. You don't get the insight. Because how you going to track something? They don't even know. All they see is your fake pictures and what you want, and it's all the same thing. So you see all the same pictures. Is like I want this, that, and that. Next one, I want this, that, and that. Same fake picture. I want this, that, and that. Another fake picture. It's like, who are you?
So basically, what I'm hearing is the women want the money and the illusion of this lifestyle, and the men want the sex. And then in between that, you can probably figure out and get lucky and find someone who might want you for you.
Lucky, you might get lucky.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Well, I was trying to find my my dating profile on Facebook. Y'all know I'm booed up now, so I think I do.
What?
Okay.
Hold the fuck on. What is this? didn't know
No,
that.
you already knew that. I said
Where is
You
he
did know that. She said it like 3 episodes ago. So
at? I didn't never see him, so I don't. What's his name?
you gotta see him.
yeah. So
You need more. I don't believe you. You need more people. Like, where's he at? Where's he at?
Oh, Ash, Dana's back.
he's working.
Oh yeah, I do remember you telling me. I was like, I gotta meet him.
What'd you say?
I do remember now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You go bring him. You go bring him to Atlanta.
You know what? That's a good idea. I should.
Yeah.
Oh, so where's he at? What city is he in?
Well, right now he's in Chicago.
See, I tell Dana, you need to move to Chicago. See,
Are you sure you want? Wait. Because I'm always telling people, you got to introduce people. You got to introduce your person to your people in phases.
I know, right?
In phases. Is he ready to be introduced to the triple OG cognac phase?
Oh, Lord.
Uh-oh.
He will. He'll meet anybody.
Yeah.
Okay,
I ain't even know if I was ready. Man, I'm just a new guy. Man, messing around.
Wonderful.
I love
That's been
everybody.
awesome. It's been awesome.
Let me ask y'all that do the don't line dating. I just have a question. Like, was there ever a point where you felt like this is it almost became work? Like not even, you know how people like, they, afterward, my social life consists of me meeting new people, whatever. Did getting on the apps, the swiping of the left and right and just browsing, did it bring you pleasure, or did it like feel like a job after a while?
It was a lot. It was a lot because, I mean, if you're doing it intentionally, it became a lot because you are not only looking at someone's picture and like, oh, okay, I like their picture, or is this picture from 10 years ago when they were on the college football team, or is this like an actual picture of them now? And if you're looking at what they're trying to say, I mean, I can't tell you how many profiles I would come across where it's like, just looking for friends with benefits. I'm actually married. My wife knows I'm here. I mean, all that.
What?
Seriously, like, I'm actually married and we're looking for a sister wife, or I'm actually married and we're looking for,
all types of stuff on dating.
what is it?
Yeah.
Ethically non-monogamous, where people put on their profile, I'm ethical because I'm being, real about it. I'm being honest and my partner knows about it, but I'm not monogamous. So, I started reading, it all felt like codes to me where it's like, okay, you're telling me that like, you just want to smash and not use condoms. Okay. And you're telling me that you just want to cheat, I'm just like calling it as I see it. And it got to the point where it made me discouraged that there were actually good men out there. And I'm like, I don't feel that this is really good for my mental health, because you start talking to someone, people don't know how to carry a conversation. And you're sitting there talking about, so what's your favorite color? I'm like, I don't care what your favorite color is. I want to know the substance of who you are and why you like doing certain things, or, do you want to travel? Do you have a passport? Because if you don't have a passport,
right.
We're not gonna work. So
my experience online has been a little bit different. Like, I've met all types of people, but I've met some people who, like, that I've had wonderful conversations with. I think it just depends. I'm pretty good at weeding them out fast, but I have some crazy stories too. Like, I met this one guy. I met a guy who was poly. He was straight up honest right away. Told me right away. He actually identified himself as being a sex. What do you call it? And sex addict. That's how he identified himself. Needless to say, we never went out or anything. I met another guy. I've met some crazy folks. There's a lot of crazy things. So Tony, like, I think we kind of see it on the flip side too. But that's how you weed people out. Like, if I see a guy with his shirt open and he got like nothing on his profile, or he said, I've seen like he'll be like, I'm 6 foot, make 6 figures, and
he'd be like, yeah, girl, that titty right there.
Nope.
You see that
crazy stuff. I'm so mad. Like, my I cannot find the
well, I did it like twice back in my day, and I
how far back?
A long time ago.
It's your birthday?
Long.
I met the
Janet,
girl.
did you
don't
count
even know-
those loans? I was counting for you, girl. No, I'm kidding.
I don't even know if it was on like Dark Planet or some shit. I don't know because I don't really remember. But I met a chick. She showed me some nice pictures or whatever, and she was out of town. She took the Greyhound, no, the Amtrak, and I went downtown Chicago to pick her up. And I'm in a car. I'm waiting for her to come to the car. I didn't even recognize her. This woman just came and opened my door and hopped in the car. I didn't even know it was her. This how catfish it was.
You should not tell this story.
I know I shouldn't tell it, right?
Story.
Right, I shouldn't tell it.
Hey, when your wife say shut up, you might shut up.
Darwin,
What?
Darwin.
Hey.
I'm listening, Darwin.
Right. Well, I'm gonna tell it
Go
anyway.
ahead,
'cause
tell
this
the
is what we're talking
people the
about.
stories.
So she hops in the man. She send me these pictures. She about in the picture. She like maybe 5'8", you know, nice body or whatever. So when she hop in the car, she like maybe like 5'9", 300 pounds, and my whole car shifted like bow. It like tilted. And when she hopped in the car, because I told her like, yeah, I'm in the Monte Carlo with this whatever. She hopped in the car, and I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I thought I was getting ambushed or something. Thought I was getting ambushed. I say, okay. And it looked a little bit. I'm like, okay, how you doing? She like, hey, should I give me a hug? I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever. So in my mind, I'm already thinking of the exit strategy, right? So I'm like, okay, I got something for her ass. Manager, I'm a better person now. I'm a better person now. I'm not the same person. This is maybe 20 years ago plus. You know what I'm saying?
This triple O before the G.
And I was triple OGGGG at this time. So she got a bag. I get put the bags in the trunk or whatever. I hop in the car. Boom, we drive, and I'm like, damn, how I'm gonna get rid of her ass? How I'm gonna get rid of her? So I go to Walmart. And I say, I got to pick something up for my mom in Walmart. So we go in Walmart and we walking around. And I say, damn, I forgot my wallet. I got to go to the car and get my wallet. So I leave out of Walmart. I go to the car. I take her bags. I throw it in the parking lot. And you know what I'm saying? I hop in the car and I pull off. You know what I'm saying? I pull off. Don't be judging me. If you're not going to judge her, don't judge me.
Dang. That's the moral of your story, huh?
I pull off, you know what I'm saying?
Nobody else, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And I pull off, because I'm mad. I'm really mad, and my feelings is hurt because she lied to me, right? And I just can't believe what just happened to me. I invested all this time into this woman that's not this woman that I thought it was, right? So now I wasted my time and my money that I thought I was going to spend.
Oh wow.
And I just drove off, and she called me. She kept calling and calling, like, where you at? I say, you know what? Your shit is in the parking lot. You bogus as hell. You catfished me. I can't believe this. You shouldn't have lied. I said, I hope you learned your lesson. Now, don't call my phone no more. And so I drove off and never heard from her again. And I hope that she's okay to this day. You know what I'm saying? But I hope she's okay. I'm gonna leave it at that. But don't be judge me. But that's my experience of online dating. That's how I was a savage back then. And I got one more story if y'all want to hear it. Just one more. I only did it twice.
I don't need no.
This time I got played. This time I really got played. I went to go visit a chick in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Yeah, I'm gonna say Kalamazoo.
First of all, wait. First of all,
tell this story either.
First of all, this story gonna be interesting, not because it's Darwin, but it's like somebody actually went to Kalamazoo to meet somebody.
Yeah, I went to Kalamazoo. She laid it out. Far. Yeah, she laid it out for me too. She said, I got a nice place. We go kick it. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna buy you this. We go have a good time. And I said, okay, cool. I get on the metro. I think I took a train or something like that. I guess she picks me up. She told me she had a rental car. I get in the car. It's an old ass raggedy Lumina, and it got goddamn. It's because she asked me for half on a rental car. And so when I get in the goddamn car, I'm like, this ain't no fucking rental. You know, it got cigarette butts.
You got your money.
Filthy, right? You know, so okay, whatever. She got me on that, right? So we pull up to a crib.
Oh no!
It was getting good.
Hey, one thing about Tom, he gonna tell us a story. He gonna tell us.
Wait, where we go?
Have you ever been to like?
Wait, Darwin. Okay, you go back to go back to the Lumina, and she took your money.
Yeah, it was a
and she said, "What happened?"
She picked me up. She picked me up. I'm thinking she gonna be in like, cause this back in the day. So Luminas and Malibus, and like Malibus was the hot car to rent for the Malibus. So
Right.
but this was a Lumina, right? And I'm like, and it was like beat up though. Like this was no rental. It's clearly not no rental. I get in the car, we go out to eat, we go to the movies, and then we get home about maybe 1 o'clock at night. We didn't even go home first. So when we pull up, it's the projects. I'm talking about everybody was outside. It's nighttime. I'm talking about everybody's outside. I wasn't even going to get out the car. I was in the car and I pulled up. I say, I know this bitch. I know this mother sucker did not bring me to no projects.
She did.
So look, and I'm not no, if anybody know, I'm not no punk. I'm not no scary dude, but I was fearful for my life, right? I get out the car and I got my bags and I'm walking and all these dudes just looking at me. And I'm like, man, they about to beat my ass. I was like, I don't know what the fuck I done got myself into, but this is not a good thing, right? So we walking and like they staring at me like, you watch Training Day when all them dudes outside in the little project area and they had the little mean. That's how they was looking at me like, yeah. And they was looking. I was like, God damn, I'm about to get fucked up. So we go to the crib. We go in the crib. Get settled and shit. We do whatever. When she woke up, she had to go to work in the morning. She tells me, I get off early. I'll be back. Don't answer the door for nobody. I say, what the fuck does that mean? Like what the fuck are you talking about? Don't answer the door for nobody. So she leaves all day. And people was knocking on the door. Open the door. I knew you in there. I'm like, man, what the fuck is going on? So I'm scared and shit. I'm like, these things go busting. I'm like, maybe she got an ex-boyfriend out there that saw me coming in here or something. So I'm all in her room. I'm going through shit. I find this notebook. I read her little notebook. She done fucked like 3 dudes the next day. She was a busser. I'm like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is fucking horrible. So I'm like, this I can't do this, right? I call a cab. I'm looking out the window. The cab came. I had to get up out of there. Is that like? And that was, and I retired from the dating thing on the online shit. I retired after that. It was over with.
See, it's those experiences that make you retire.
Thank you, Devin.
Hey,
you gotta come back next week. Talking about transgender.
This was amazing, man. Thank you guys for allowing me to sit in and participate today. Nice meeting all of you all. Great personalities. Cool bunch of individuals. And man, y'all is funny as hell. That's all I can say.
We do something on the show where we do famous last words. So before you go, in about 20 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds, if nobody remembers anything else you said tonight, what would you like them to remember? I'm gonna put you in solo layout.
Famous last words. Tomorrow's not promised. You know what I'm saying? We all gonna live for something for someone. Make sure you got your legacy plan in place. I do life insurance. So you want to make sure you got your legacy plan in place, because if you're missing, your family still need that income to come in. So just consider that. And that's all I got. And God bless.
Thank you so much, Devin.
Appreciate it, Devin.
All right, you gotta come back. All right. Okay.
Ashley, I gotta go too. So let me do my.
Okay. Famous last words. Devin, what you say?
No, I'm gonna check his last words out.
Okay. All right, famous last words, Tony.
All right, I don't have anything as profound as that, but I mean, the subject is on being single and dating. I feel like it's definitely different today. You have to take your time with it and be your own genuine self. If you are online dating, you should definitely say more so about who you are than who it is you want, because you'll know. So a lot of people will try to conform themselves to be what it is you want. So just be diligent and be yourself, and that's all I have to say.
Okay. Thank you, Tony. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you all for having me. Appreciate it.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you for coming on.
Good night, y'all. Good night. All right. All right, y'all. So I was gonna bring on another one, bring up another topic about transgender, but I'm going about dating in this world of like a lot of people are transgender now, but I'm going to pocket that for next week, y'all.
Yeah, do that. Yeah.
But yeah. So any last words, any last comments y'all want to say?
So we just gonna
Sorry,
do
what
it.
did you learn from all that whole story?
Nothing.
No, it was Cannon fading in and out for me when she was just like Cannon off camera, and then Cannon come back and camera like, and then out camera, and then Cannon like,
No, no, for real, really, those stories. What I learned is that I was a horrible person. Really, the first story I learned I learned I was a horrible person, and and I was just a horrible person at that point.
I have a question.
Yes.
Did
I have an answer?
Did the project Pat catfish? That's what I'm calling it. Did that happen before or after the 300-pound catfish?
It was before.
Oh, so you get trapped in the projects. Did teach you to leave it alone then?
No, because I don't. It was one off. I thought it was.
Sometimes you have hope, Yolanda. Sometimes you have hope, and you feel like, okay, that was just that just happened at one time, and then the next situation will be okay, and it's not.
And I definitely learned don't go visit. I definitely learned not to go visit any female out of town that I don't know, because and I will. This is advice to all kinds to all the men out there. As nice and as sweet as women can be, there are some devils out there, and there are some women out there that will trap you and put you in some situations that can have you lose your life. And I know some guys who have been set up and robbed and and beat up and stuff like that. And that was a very and as much as I preach to women that don't put yourself in dangerous situations with men, I put myself in a very dangerous situation going out and visiting a woman that I barely even knew, and because something bad could have happened to me that night. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I really learned. Like, I wouldn't advise anyone to go meet a woman, and she was nice. She was nice, and that's why I did it. But just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Your life is more important. Your safety is more important than all of that. Just make sure that you're protecting yourself. So that's what I really learned from that situation. And then the other situation, I learned that I was a horrible person and I needed to do better. You know what I'm saying? Especially to women, because I put her in a situation where that's not her that wasn't her city, and I left her in the parking lot. Something could have happened to her. I don't know if she had money to get back home, or she had to wait till the next day. Because she was out there for the weekend, supposed to be spending the night with me.
Right.
But so I was really fucked up for doing that. But I was young and I wasn't thinking about none of that shit. I was just like, man, she bogus as hell. She shouldn't have lied to me. That's all I thought about. But that was wrong. And if for anybody that goes through that situation, and if I know people get catfished all the time, but just have some sympathy for those women or those men that do it, because they went through some stuff. They probably got low self-esteem. They not thinking right, and they don't mean any harm. They just looking for somebody to love, and if you don't want to be intimate with them, just still go out and show them a good time. And that's what I really learned. Like, people, you can still have a good time with somebody without getting everything that you want out of them. Like, it ain't all about sex, because I still probably could have went out with her, took her out, conversated, have a nice time, and network with her, and maybe built something else outside of just sex. But that's all I was thinking about at that time. So every woman you ain't got to have sex with every woman. People are in your lives for certain reasons, and I could have missed out on a good friend or a good business venture or whatever the case may be. But I don't care about that. But yeah, that's my last words.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna close out because it's late. We over 2 hours, but we touched on a whole lot of stuff. I feel like we need a part 2. Y'all agree?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yes.
Annie, you gonna come back?
Sure. Yeah.
We didn't scare you away.
Listen, I mean, I didn't really share any of my stories tonight.
Yeah, we want to hear your stories, because you said you got some good ones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Jobo, you want to do famous last words?
Sure, absolutely. Don't let your traumas from the past interrupt your bright future. Whether you are planning to get married, whether you are planning to start a business, whether you are planning to do the next biggest thing that the world has ever seen, heal yourself. You deserve it. Do not let hypervigilance take charge and make you think that you can't have a great life.
Okay, I like that. Thank you. Oh yeah, and Jovo, you gotta, she guest star, y'all, on another podcast this past week.
Okay. I see.
Special.
All right.
Yes, I talked about drug and alcohol addiction on The Walker Way. They are on YouTube, so just literally type in The Walker Way. You will get a chance to see some great therapeutic tools. They just started out, so they need you guys to go on there and hit the like and subscribe button right after you hit like and subscribe to the ladies' room. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Who wants to go next? Last famous words.
I'll do it.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Dana.
Okay. So time is a non-renewable resource. It is going to go by with or without you. So be present and just enjoy your life, because you can't get any of that time back. And there should not be a certain thing that you're waiting for to actually enjoy your life.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Cannon.
I want to learn more about Dana's uncomplicated life. Like that's that's all I'm gonna take away. She said uncomplicated. I was like, ooh.
I know. I like that. Girl, I know.
So I don't have any children. I have a dog, and I just go to work. That's why.
Damn.
All right, Triple OG.
I thought I said my last words.
Oh, okay.
Don't trust chicks that drive Luminas or Malibus.
No, but no. Marriage is what you and your spouse makes it. Like, just go into it with the mentality of not giving up and try your best. And it's a take it step by step, day by day. It's not no. I'm gonna do this until then, but you got to work on this every day, every minute, really, because bear with me. You gotta it's certain things in marriages that you have to go through, and it's because you are who you are, you might do things that's within you that might hurt your spouse's feelings that you really didn't try to do. So you have to be sympathetic to certain things all the time. And it's stressful, it's hard, it's mentally exhausting, but it's definitely worth it to see you go through these challenges and you come out on top. And it's just like anything. Once you overcome anything, you feel great about it. You feel good about it. Like if you don't want to go work out in the morning, but you go anyways and you complete the workout, you feel great. And that's what marriage is. It's certain things that you're not going to want to do, but if you do it and you complete the task and you make your wife or your husband feel great while doing it, the reward and that smile that you see on their face is going to be so rewarding to you. I promise you're gonna just get that high, and you're gonna keep wanting to get it, and you're gonna motivate yourself to just keep thriving and to get that all the time. So marriage is really great, even though we always talk about marriages. Oh, it's a war, it's a bad thing. Oh, divorce and this and that. But people get married for a reason. Just remember that reason you got married, and try to keep that reason every day.
All right. All right, Darwin. 2 snaps to that. All right, y'all. This is the Ladies Room podcast. I'm so happy you all joined. You got to come back next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern time. And we're going to have part 2 of this whole dating conversation. All right. So don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share with everybody you know. Put it on Facebook, y'all. All right. We out. Bye.